Hello, friend. Before we begin, I want you to do something simple for me. Find the most comfortable position you can imagine right now. It doesn't have to be perfect, just comfortable. Let your body sink a little deeper into wherever you're resting. Feel the weight of your head against the pillow, the way your shoulders naturally want to drop, the quiet heaviness that comes when you finally stop holding yourself up. Good. Now, if you can, dim the lights around you, or close your eyes, or both. Let the world outside, with all its noise and urgency and endless demands, begin to fade away, like fog lifting from a morning field. You don't need to be anywhere else right now. You don't need to do anything else. This moment, right here, is yours. Take a deep breath with me, in through your nose and out slowly through your mouth. One more time, in and out. Feel your chest rise and fall, the ancient rhythm that connects you to every human being who has ever lived, who has ever laid down at the end of a long day and surrendered to rest. Tonight, we're going on a journey together. Not a journey that requires any effort from you. No, this is the kind of journey where you simply listen and drift and let the story carry you like a leaf on a gentle stream. We're traveling back in time, thousands of years back, to a place that feels both impossibly distant and strangely familiar. We're going to discover how people, real people just like you, found their way to sleep in ancient America. And along the way, I think you'll find something surprising, that despite the centuries between us, despite the different landscapes and languages and tools, the need for rest, for comfort, for safety in the dark, these things have never changed. So settle in, let your breathing slow, and let's begin. Picture this with me, if you will. It's somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 years ago. The sun is setting over what we now call the American Southwest, but there are no borders here, no highways, no cities sprawled across the horizon. There's only land, vast, open, painted in shades of amber and rust and deepening purple as the day slowly bleeds into night. You're standing at the entrance of a small rock shelter, a natural alcove carved into the side of a sandstone cliff by wind and water over millions of years. The stone still holds the warmth of the day, radiating gently against your back. If you placed your palm against it right now, you'd feel that heat, that reminder that the earth itself is alive, breathing, holding you. Inside this shelter, a family is preparing for sleep. Not a large family, perhaps 5 or 6 people. A grandmother with hands weathered and strong. A young mother nursing an infant who makes soft, contented sounds. 2 children, maybe 7 and 9, their faces smudged with dirt from a day of play and work. And a father, sitting by a small fire, carefully checking the bindings on his spear. The fire. Oh, the fire. Can you smell it? That particular scent of burning juniper wood, sweet and slightly spicy, mixing with the smoke that drifts up toward the roof of the shelter and escapes through cracks in the stone. The flames dance, not a roaring blaze, but something smaller, more intimate, just enough to keep the darkness at bay and cast flickering shadows that seem almost alive against the ancient rock walls. Soft fire crackling. You see, fire wasn't just about light or warmth for these people. Fire was a companion. Fire was the heartbeat of the evening, the gathering place, the thing that separated the human world from the wild darkness beyond. When you lay down to sleep in ancient America, you did so knowing that fire stood watch. And there's something deeply comforting in that, isn't there? Something that speaks to a part of us that still exists, even now, even in our temperature-controlled rooms with our electric lights. That primal gratitude for warmth, for safety, for not being alone in the dark. The children are settling down now. They're lying on woven reed mats, layered with soft animal hides, rabbit fur mostly, stitched together with patience and skill by their grandmother over many months. Beneath them, dried grasses provide cushioning against the hard stone floor. It's not a modern mattress, no, but it's carefully made, thoughtful, born from the knowledge that comfort matters, that rest is sacred. The young mother finishes nursing her baby and gently lays the infant beside her on a cradle board lined with shredded bark, so soft it feels like down. She begins to hum a melody with no words, just pure sound, rising and falling like wind moving through canyon walls. It's a lullaby older than memory, passed down from her mother and her mother's mother, and backward through time until its origins are lost in the mists of forgetting. And here's something beautiful, something that touches the heart if you let it. This moment, this exact moment of a mother singing her child to sleep has happened billions of times across human history, in caves and castles, in tents and tenements, in houses made of mud and houses made of steel. The setting changes, but the love, the fierce, protective, tender love, never does. The father banks the fire, carefully arranging the coals so they'll burn slowly through the night. He knows exactly how to do this. It's knowledge earned through experience, through cold nights when he got it wrong, through watching his own father perform this same ritual. He places a few larger pieces of wood within reach in case he needs to feed the flames before dawn. Then he lies down beside his family. His spear is within arm's reach, not because he's expecting danger, but because preparation is how you sleep peacefully. When you know you can protect what you love, rest comes easier. Outside, the desert night has fully arrived. The temperature is dropping. It drops fast in the desert, you know. What was warm and golden just an hour ago is now cool and silver under starlight. You can hear the distant yip of a coyote calling to its pack. The sound echoes off the canyon walls, mournful and wild and strangely beautiful. But inside the shelter, wrapped in furs, held by firelight, the family begins to drift. Their breathing synchronizes without anyone planning it, a phenomenon that still happens when people sleep close together, our bodies unconsciously harmonizing, creating a shared rhythm that says, "You are not alone, you are held, you are safe." And they sleep. They sleep the way humans have always slept when they feel secure, deeply, dreamlessly at first, their bodies doing the ancient work of repair and restoration that has kept our species alive for hundreds of thousands of years.
Now, let's move forward in time. Not all the way to the present. No, we're still centuries away from that. Let's arrive instead around the year 1200 CE in what we now call the Midwest, near the banks of the Mississippi River. But this isn't the wilderness. This is Cahokia. Have you heard of Cahokia? Most people haven't, and that's a shame because it was extraordinary. At its height, Cahokia was a city of perhaps 20,000 people, larger than London at the same time, larger than Paris. It was a metropolis of earthen mounds and wooden buildings, of plazas and markets and neighborhoods, of astronomers tracking the stars and farmers tending fields of corn and beans and squash. It was a place of human ambition, human creativity, human community. Now, it's evening now, and the city is settling into its nightly rhythm. The sun has just dipped below the horizon, leaving behind a sky painted in layers, deep rose near the earth, fading up through lavender and indigo until it reaches the first emerging stars. The air smells of wood smoke and cooking fires, of earth and river water, of the particular green scent that comes from thousands of people living close to the land. Let's follow one person home. Her name, well, we don't know her name. History didn't preserve it, but we know she existed. We know women like her lived and loved and worried and laughed and, yes, struggled to fall asleep just like you sometimes do. She's a potter. Her hands are stained with clay, her fingernails permanently darkened from her work. She's been at the workshop since early morning, shaping vessels on a wooden turntable, using tools made of bone and shell to carve intricate designs into the wet clay, spirals and waves and geometric patterns that mean something to her people, that tell stories without words. Her back aches, a specific ache between her shoulder blades from bending over her work all day. She rolls her shoulders as she walks, trying to ease the tightness. You know that feeling, don't you? That end-of-day soreness that reminds you that you're human, that you've used your body, that you've worked. She's walking through the city now, through narrow pathways between houses made of wattle and daub, woven branches plastered with clay and mud, then sometimes painted with bright mineral pigments. Red ochre, white kaolin, black charcoal. The houses are small but sturdy, each one home to a family, each one glowing now with interior firelight that seeps through gaps in the walls and doorways covered with hide curtains. The sounds of the city at dusk are everywhere, children laughing and shouting in that universal language of play, a baby crying then being soothed, voices in conversation, speaking a language long lost, but with rhythms and intonations that would feel familiar, the way people sound when they're tired but content, when they're sharing the small details of their day with someone who cares. Somewhere, a flute is playing, just a simple wooden flute, maybe 6 holes, but in skilled hands it produces a melody that drifts through the evening air like smoke, like a spell. The notes are pentatonic, that 5-note scale that appears in music across cultures, from China to Africa to the Americas. There's something about those particular intervals that speaks directly to the human heart, that bypasses the thinking mind and goes straight to feeling. Pause to let the image settle. Our potter arrives at her home, one of hundreds of similar structures. Inside, her family is already there. Her partner has prepared a simple meal, a corn porridge flavored with dried berries and seeds, served in bowls that she herself made months ago. They eat together, sitting on woven mats, using their fingers and carved wooden spoons. The food is warm and filling, not elaborate, but enough. In a world without refrigeration, without grocery stores, enough is everything. After eating, there are small tasks. The fire needs tending, tools need putting away, tomorrow's food needs preparation. But these tasks are performed slowly, without urgency. There's a collective understanding that the day is ending, that the time for striving is over, that now is the time for winding down. And here's something I find deeply moving. The Cahokians had figured out something we're still struggling with today. They understood that sleep wasn't just something that happened when you were tired enough. They knew it was something you invited, something you prepared for, something that required ritual and intention. As darkness deepens, families throughout the city begin their evening routines. Some sing together, songs of gratitude, songs of protection, songs that have been sung for generations. Some tell stories, passing down history and wisdom and humor through oral tradition. Some simply sit in comfortable silence, watching the fire burn down, feeling the day drain out of their muscles. Children are put to bed on raised platforms covered with bison hides and woven blankets. The platforms keep them off the cold earth floor and away from any insects that might crawl. Parents check on them, adjust their coverings, stroke their hair. The same gestures of love that parents have always made, always will make whenever a child closes their eyes to sleep. Long, gentle pause. Our potter lies down beside her partner. Their bed is more elaborate than the rock shelter we visited earlier. They have thick reed mats, layers of furs and woven blankets, even a stuffed pillow made of a leather case filled with cattail down. It's actually quite comfortable, proof that humans have always sought comfort, always innovated towards rest. The fire burns low. Outside, the great city quiets. 20,000 people settling into sleep, more or less at the same time, guided by the setting sun and the rising darkness. There are no streetlights to confuse their circadian rhythms, no glowing screens to trick their brains into thinking it's still day, just darkness, pure and complete, telling their bodies, it's time, it's safe, let go. And she does. Her breathing deepens, her muscles release. The ache in her shoulders begins to fade as sleep brings its healing. Tomorrow she'll make more pots. Tomorrow there will be more work, more community, more life. But tonight there is only rest. Can you feel it? That same permission to rest? You don't need to solve anything right now. You don't need to plan or worry or figure out. Right now, like our potter in ancient Cahokia, you can simply let go.
Let's travel now to a place where sleep was not just a personal need, but a community strategy for survival. Let's go north, far north, to the Arctic, where ancient peoples developed some of the most ingenious methods for staying warm and safe through the long, dark winter nights. It's winter, deep winter, the kind of winter that lasts for months, where the sun barely climbs above the horizon before dipping back down, where temperatures plunge so low that your breath crystallizes instantly, where the cold is not just uncomfortable, but actively dangerous. We're inside an igloo, a real one, not the simplified dome you might picture, but an architectural marvel built from blocks of packed snow, engineered with such precision that it creates an insulating air pocket that can be 30, 40, even 50 degrees warmer inside than outside. Can you hear that? The wind screaming across the ice? It sounds almost alive, doesn't it? Like something wild and ancient and indifferent to human existence. But inside is different. Inside is a pocket of warmth and light and humanity carved out of the hostile, frozen world. There's a family here, Inuit or Yupik, or one of the many Arctic peoples who learned to thrive in conditions that would kill most of us in hours. They're wearing layers of caribou hide clothing even inside, because even though it's warmer in here, it's still cold by our standards. But they've been born into this cold. They know it like you know your own neighborhood. They respect it, work with it, understand it in ways that most modern people have completely lost. The interior of the igloo glows with soft light from a kulik, a seal oil lamp made from soapstone.
It's a simple thing, really. A shallow stone bowl filled with rendered seal blubber, with a wick made from dried moss or Arctic cotton. But in skilled hands, it provides both light and heat, burning steadily for hours, the flame never flickering because there's no breeze inside the sealed snow dome. The smell is distinct. Seal oil has a particular scent, rich, fatty, almost sweet, mixed with the cold air smell of snow and the warm body smell of people in close quarters. It's not unpleasant if you're used to it. It's the smell of home, of safety, of surviving another day in a world that demands constant vigilance. The family has eaten. Their evening meal was seal meat, frozen and sliced thin, eaten raw because raw food prevents vitamin C, preventing scurvy, a piece of nutritional wisdom they learned through generations of trial and error, through watching what happened to people who didn't eat this way. Science without laboratories, knowledge earned through careful observation and the high price of mistakes. Now they're preparing for sleep, and this preparation is crucial. Sleep in the Arctic isn't casual. You can't just lie down anywhere. You need layers, insulation, careful arrangement to prevent freezing overnight. The sleeping platform runs along the back wall of the igloo, raised about 2 feet off the ground. Why raised? Because cold air sinks, and the coldest air in the igloo will settle at floor level. The platform is covered first with small pieces of driftwood or whalebone to keep bodies off direct contact with the snow. Then come layers of caribou hides, dozens of them, with the fur sides arranged to trap the maximum amount of air, because air is insulation. Air is what keeps you alive. The father checks everything twice. He learned this from his father, who learned it from his father, and so on back through time. You don't survive in the Arctic by being careless. You survive by being meticulous, by respecting the cold's power, by never assuming you're safe. The children crawl into the sleeping area first, already drowsy, their small faces flushed from the warmth of the oil lamp and their evening meal. They wiggle down between the furs, creating little nests for themselves. The mother follows, arranging her youngest child close against her body, because babies and toddlers can't regulate their own temperature well. They need your heat. They need to be held through the night. And there's something profound in that, isn't there? Something that speaks to a deeper truth about human survival. We made it this far not because we're the strongest or the fastest or the most dangerous. We made it because we take care of each other, because we share our warmth, because we recognize that alone we are fragile, but together we're resilient. A gentle pause. The father banks the kulik, adjusting the wick so it will burn low but steady through the night. Complete darkness in an Arctic winter can be deeply disorienting, even frightening. A small flame is company, is comfort, is proof that you're still here, still alive, still fighting against the cold and the dark. Then he joins his family in the sleeping area. They arrange themselves efficiently, not because they're following rules, but because they've done this 1,000 times and their bodies know the best configuration. The children in the middle, warmest, the parents on the edges, more exposed but able to monitor everything, ready to add more oil to the lamp or adjust the furs if anyone seems cold. And they pull a large caribou hide over them all, like a communal blanket. And here's something beautiful. This hide isn't just functional, it's decorated. Carefully tanned, the leather side has been painted with designs, geometric patterns, animal figures, symbols that have meaning to this family. Because even in the harshest environment on Earth, humans create beauty. Even when survival is uncertain, we make art. We declare through paint and pattern and decoration, we are not just surviving, we are living. We have culture, we matter. A long pause, letting the scene breathe. Outside, the wind howls. Inside, the family sleeps close together, their combined body heat trapped by layers of fur and snow. The igloo, this temporary home built from nothing but frozen water, keeps them alive through temperatures that would kill them in minutes if they were exposed. And they sleep deeply, these Arctic peoples, their bodies adapted over countless generations to need rest just like everyone else, but to find it even in conditions that seem impossible. They sleep with the confidence of people who understand their environment completely, who have mastered the art of survival through careful observation and shared knowledge and stubborn determination. The youngest child makes a small sound in sleep, not distress, just a sleepy murmur. The mother, without even fully waking, adjusts her position slightly, pulls the child closer. The father's breathing is deep and steady. The oil lamp flickers its tiny golden light against the pale blue walls of compressed snow. And in this moment, in this frozen world under the dancing aurora borealis that's painting the sky outside in waves of green and purple light, in this moment there is peace. Can you feel that peace? That sense of being held, protected, warm despite the cold world outside? You're safe too, you know. In your own way, you've made your own shelter against the difficult world. You've made it through another day. You've survived. And now, like these Arctic peoples who mastered the art of rest in impossible conditions, now you can let yourself sleep.
Before we continue our journey, I want to pause here and talk with you about something fascinating, something that bridges the ancient world and our own, the psychology of sleep. You see, when we look at how ancient Americans slept, whether in the Southwest deserts or the Mississippian cities or the Arctic ice, we discover something unexpected. They didn't have sleep problems the way we do. Insomnia was rare. Sleep anxiety was virtually unknown. And this wasn't because their lives were easier. In many ways, their lives were harder, more dangerous, more uncertain than ours. So what did they know that we've forgotten? First, they understood that sleep follows rhythm. Not just any rhythm, but the deep, ancient rhythm of light and dark that governed life for millions of years before electricity was invented. When the sun set, they began preparing for sleep. Not suddenly, not reluctantly, but gradually, naturally, the way tide follows moon. Their bodies produced melatonin, the sleep hormone, right on schedule, because nothing disrupted the signal. No bright screens, no overhead lights, no blue wavelengths tricking their brains into thinking it was still midday. Just fire, which burns in the red-orange spectrum, the wavelengths that actually encourage melatonin production rather than suppressing it. We've lost that. We've traded it for convenience, for productivity, for the ability to work and play at any hour. And maybe that trade was worth it in some ways, but we've paid a price, haven't we? In tired eyes and racing thoughts and the 3 a.m. anxiety spiral that ancient peoples rarely experienced. Second, they understood that sleep is communal. Think about all the scenes we visited tonight. The family in the rock shelter, the potter in Cahokia, the Arctic family huddled together in their igloo. Nobody slept alone unless absolutely necessary. And there's wisdom in that. When you sleep near others, when you can hear their breathing, feel their presence, some ancient part of your brain relaxes. It says, you're not alone. Someone is watching. You're safe. This is why babies sleep better near their parents. This is why even adults often sleep better with a partner beside them, or even a pet curled at their feet. We are primates. We are social mammals. We evolved sleeping in groups, and some part of us still craves that, still needs it, even if we've built a modern world of private bedrooms and individual space. If you're alone tonight, that's okay. But maybe you can imagine. Imagine you're part of that ancient community. Imagine the breathing of others around you, the presence of humans who care about you, who would protect you, who would mourn if you were gone. Because that's true, you know. Even in our disconnected modern world, there are people who care. And you're part of the human family that has always gathered together, always protected each other through the vulnerable hours of night. Third, and perhaps most important, ancient peoples understood that sleep was sacred. Not in a religious sense necessarily, but sacred in the way that essential things are sacred. They respected it. They protected it. They built their lives around it rather than squeezing it in between other priorities. There were no meetings scheduled late into the evening, no expectations of being available at all hours, no guilt about wasting time in sleep. When darkness came, work stopped. When the body said, "I'm tired," you listened. This wasn't laziness, it was wisdom. It was understanding that sleep is not the absence of activity, but a different kind of activity. Your brain is working while you sleep, processing the day, solving problems, creating connections. Your immune system is stronger during sleep. Your heart gets a chance to rest. Your muscles repair themselves. Sleep is not time lost. It's time invested in your continued existence. And finally, they knew how to let go. This might be the hardest lesson for us modern people to learn. They didn't lie awake worrying about things they couldn't control. Not because they had few problems, they had plenty. Disease, injury, hunger, conflict, loss, all the things humans have always faced. But they had something we've lost: acceptance. Not defeated acceptance, not giving up, but the mature recognition that some things are outside your control, that tomorrow will come whether you worry about it or not, that exhausting yourself with anxiety doesn't actually solve anything. When the ancient person lay down to sleep, they let the day go. They released their grip on it. They trusted in their community, in their skills, in the dawn that would come, in their ability to face whatever came next. And in that release, in that trust, sleep arrived. Very gently, almost whispered, "Can you do that now? Can you let today go? It's over, you know. You can't change it, can't redo it, can't improve it. It's done. And tomorrow? Tomorrow doesn't exist yet. It's just a concept, a possibility, a space of potential. You don't need to solve it tonight. What exists is right now, this moment. Your body in this comfortable place, your breathing slow and steady, the darkness around you, or the soft light, or whatever environment you've created. This is real. This is all that's real. And in this moment, you are safe. Let that truth settle into your bones. You are safe. There's a place I want to take you now, before we continue towards sleep. It's in the American Southwest, in one of the great Pueblo villages built into the cliff faces, the structures that still stand today and astonish visitors with their engineering and beauty. It's summer, late summer. The air during the day has been hot and dry, but now that the sun has set, it's cooling rapidly, the way desert air does. You can feel the temperature dropping degree by degree, the stone walls releasing their stored heat gradually, like a long, slow exhale. We're in a kiva, an underground ceremonial chamber. The entrance is through a hole in the roof, with a wooden ladder extending down into the cool, dark interior. The walls are plastered smooth and painted with murals, stylized clouds, corn plants, sun symbols, the figure of a flute player, animals both real and mythological. There's a ceremony happening tonight, not a big public ceremony, but something more intimate, a dream ceremony. The people gathered here, maybe 15 or 20 of them, have come to prepare for meaningful dreams, to invite wisdom from the world beyond waking. Because here's something we don't often talk about. Ancient peoples didn't separate sleep and waking the way we do. They saw dreams as real experiences, as valid as anything that happened while the sun was up. Dreams were where you met your ancestors, where you received guidance, where you glimpsed truths that the waking mind couldn't access. The ceremony is led by an elder, a woman whose face is lined with age and whose eyes are sharp with intelligence. She's burning dried herbs in a small clay bowl, sage and sweetgrass, and something else, something whose name has been lost to time, but whose smoke is thick and fragrant, filling the kiva with a scent that's both earthy and somehow elevated, grounding and transcendent at once. She speaks, and her voice is low and rhythmic, chanting in her people's language. The words don't matter so much as the sound, the cadence, the way the syllables flow one into another like water over stone. She's praying, yes, but she's also doing something more fundamental. She's changing the consciousness of everyone in the room. This is something ancient peoples understood intuitively, something we're only now rediscovering through neuroscience. That sound and rhythm and repetition can alter brain states, that the right combination of sensory inputs can shift you from ordinary waking consciousness into something deeper, more receptive, more connected. The participants sit in a circle on woven mats, their backs against the curved wall of the kiva. Some have their eyes closed, some are gazing at the fire burning in the center of the space, watching the flames dance and flicker, letting their vision go soft and unfocused. The elder finishes her chant. She passes around a clay bowl of water, blessed and made sacred through prayer and intention. Each person takes a small sip, not because the water has been chemically altered, but because ritual matters. Because when you do something with intention and reverence, it changes your relationship to that action. The water tastes the way water always tastes, but it feels different. It feels like permission, like invitation. Softer now, more intimate. Tonight, the elder says, speaking now in words we can understand, you will sleep, and in sleeping you will dream, and in dreaming you may see what cannot be seen in daylight. You may hear voices of those who have gone before. You may receive answers to questions you didn't know you were asking. She continues, but remember this, not all dreams are messages. Some dreams are just your mind sorting through the day, organizing memories, processing feelings. And that's okay. That's necessary too. Don't force meaning onto every image. Don't grasp too tightly. Let the dreams come as they will, and trust that you'll recognize the important ones when they arrive. This is wisdom, isn't it? The wisdom to not overinterpret, to not make everything significant, to allow things to just be. We could use more of that today in our world where we're constantly looking for signs and meanings and explanations. Pause for atmosphere. The ceremony winds down. The participants rise slowly, climb the ladder one by one, emerge into the starlit night. They disperse to their homes throughout the pueblo, walking quietly through the narrow passages between buildings, past other families already sleeping, past dogs curled in doorways, past embers of cooking fires glowing faintly in the darkness. Let's follow one of them, a young man, maybe 20 years old. He's been having a recurring dream lately, and it troubles him. In the dream, he's running, always running, chased by something he can't see. He wakes gasping, his heart pounding, sometimes before dawn has even broken. Tonight, after the ceremony, he feels different, calmer, more open. He reaches his home, a small room in one of the pueblo's many storied structures. His sleeping mat is already laid out, covered with a blanket woven by his mother, the pattern traditional to his clan, black and white diamonds representing clouds and mountains and the path between earth and sky. He lies down. Above him, through the small window, he can see stars. So many stars, more than you can see from most places now, because there's no light pollution, nothing to dim their ancient light. He focuses on one star in particular, one that shines brighter than the others, and he breathes. And as he drifts towards sleep, he sets an intention, not forcefully, not with his thinking mind, but with something deeper. He intends to meet his dream without fear, to face whatever is chasing him, to understand. And maybe he will. Maybe tonight he'll turn around in his dream and see that the thing chasing him is just a part of himself, some fear or anxiety that needed to be acknowledged, confronted, and integrated. Or maybe he'll just sleep peacefully, the ceremony having calmed whatever was disturbing his rest. Either way, he sleeps. The stars wheel slowly overhead. The pueblo is silent except for the occasional bark of a dog, the whisper of wind through the canyons. And in this moment, ancient and eternal, the young man is part of a practice that goes back to the beginning of human consciousness, the practice of entering sleep with intention, of honoring the dream space as sacred, of recognizing that we are more than just our waking selves. You are too, you know. You are more than your waking thoughts, your daily worries, your conscious concerns. There's a deeper you, a you that exists beneath all that, a you that knows things your conscious mind has forgotten or never learned. And maybe tonight, as you drift towards sleep, that deeper you will speak. Maybe you'll have dreams worth remembering, or maybe you'll just rest deeply, and that will be enough. That will be more than enough.
It's deepest night now, the middle of the night, when most people in most times have always been asleep. We're in the eastern woodlands, somewhere in what we now call the southeastern United States, maybe 1,000 years ago, maybe more. The forest here is old, not just old in years, but old in feeling, ancient. The kind of forest where the trees are so tall and so densely packed that even in daylight it's dim, cathedral-like. At night, it's nearly absolute darkness beneath the canopy. But we're not lost in that darkness. We're in a village, a small settlement of perhaps 40 or 50 people, their homes built from logs and bark,
arranged in a loose circle around a central gathering space. The village is surrounded by a palisade, a wall of sharpened logs driven into the earth, a defense against raiders or predators or whatever dangers lurk in the forest beyond. Inside the palisade, it's surprisingly quiet. A few dogs are awake, padding silently between the houses, eternal guardians. The embers of the central fire still glow faintly, carefully maintained so they'll never die completely, because starting a new fire from scratch is hard work, and why waste the effort when you can just keep this one alive forever? In one of the houses, someone is awake. A grandmother. She's old, perhaps in her 60s, which is genuinely old for this time and place, a testament to her skill at survival, her luck, the care of her family. Sleep comes less easily now than it once did. Her body aches in ways it didn't when she was young. Her mind is more active at night than it was when she was young. Memories rising unbidden, like fish breaking the surface of still water. She rises carefully from her sleeping platform, wrapped in a bearskin against the night chill. She doesn't want to wake her daughter and grandchildren sleeping nearby. She moves with the practiced silence of someone who has spent a lifetime in close quarters, who knows exactly where every creaky floorboard is, which movements make noise and which don't. She steps outside, into the village common area. The stars are visible here in the gap above the clearing. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light, and she knows its stories, the tales her grandmother told her about the path of souls, the road that spirits travel when they leave this world. She's not afraid, not of the darkness, not of being outside, not of being alone. Fear is for when you don't understand something. She understands this place. This is her home in a way that goes beyond ownership or boundaries. Her people have lived in this forest for generations beyond counting. She knows its moods, its seasons, its gifts, and its dangers. She can hear them sleeping, her family and her neighbors. The village breathes collectively, a gentle rhythm of inhalations and exhalations, punctuated by the occasional snore, a cough, a sleepy murmur. It's the sound of human community at rest, and it's oddly beautiful if you listen closely. And listening is what she does now, not just with her ears, but with her whole being. She's listening to the night forest around her, to the sounds that most people would miss. The soft rustle of leaves as a mouse scurries along the ground, the distant crack of a branch, probably a deer moving through the undergrowth, the closer sound of an owl launching from a tree, its wings surprisingly loud for just a moment before it glides silently towards some unfortunate prey. These sounds don't alarm her. They're the normal sounds of a living forest, of the great web of life that humans are part of, not separate from. She listens, and in listening, she's connected to something vast and ancient, something that existed long before her people came to this place and will continue long after they're gone. She thinks about her life, not in a sad or regretful way, but with a kind of curious inventory. She's seen so much, births and deaths, marriages and separations, seasons of plenty and seasons of hunger, wars and peace, joy and sorrow, and everything in between. She's buried children, a pain that never fully leaves even decades later. She's raised grandchildren. She's passed on knowledge about which plants heal and which kill, about how to read the weather, about the stories that make sense of the world. She's tired now, not the temporary tired of a long day, but the deeper tired that comes with age, the sense that her time is slowly running out, that she's closer to the end than the beginning. And surprisingly, this doesn't frighten her. It feels natural, right, part of the cycle that governs all living things. She looks up at the stars one more time, whispers something in her language, maybe a prayer, maybe just a greeting to the ancestors she'll join someday. Then she turns and walks quietly back to her house, back to her sleeping platform, back to the warmth of her bare skin and the presence of her family. And this time when she lies down, sleep comes more easily. Something about the night air, the stars, the listening, the remembering, it settled something in her. She closes her eyes and her breathing deepens, and she drifts down into the place where consciousness dissolves and dreams begin. What was she dreaming about, this ancient grandmother? We'll never know, but maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe what matters is just this, that she lived, that she loved, that she passed on her wisdom, that she found her moments of peace even in a difficult world, that she was human, struggling and striving and eventually resting, just like you, just like everyone who has ever existed. You are part of that long chain, you know. Every human who has ever looked up at the stars and wondered, every grandmother who has lain awake worrying about her family, every person who has felt the ache of age or the confusion of youth or the overwhelming middleness of just trying to get through another day. You're not alone in this. You never have been. Across time and distance, we're all connected by this shared experience of being alive, of being human, of needing rest when the day becomes too heavy to carry any longer.
And so our journey through the sleep habits of ancient Americans comes to its natural close. We've traveled together through deserts and cities, through frozen Arctic nights and deep forest darkness. We've met people separated from us by thousands of years, and yet not so different, are they? They sought what you seek: safety, warmth, community, rest. They worried about their families, their futures, their place in the world. They lay down at night carrying the weight of their days and hoped for the kindness of sleep to take that weight away, even if just for a few hours. And they slept. Through ice ages and droughts, through wars and peace, through ages of plenty and times of desperate hunger, they slept. Because life requires it, because the body demands it, because without rest, nothing else is possible. You've heard their stories tonight. The family by the fire in the rock shelter, the potter in Cahokia, hands stained with creative clay, the Arctic family huddled together against impossible cold, the young man seeking answers in his dreams, the grandmother listening to the night forest, making peace with her mortality. Each of them found their way to rest, and you will too. Your sleeping place, wherever you are right now, is your own kind of shelter. Not made of sandstone or snow or woven bark, but it serves the same purpose. It holds you. It protects you. It gives you a place to let down your guard, to be vulnerable, to trust that the world will continue without your constant vigilance. Let's take a moment now to honor your body, this incredible vehicle that carries you through your days, your body that has worked so hard today, that has breathed and pumped blood and processed food and fought off invisible threats and carried you wherever you needed to go. Your body is trying to rest now. It's been sending you signals, the heaviness in your eyelids, the slight slowing of your thoughts, the way your muscles want to sink deeper into whatever surface supports you. Listen to those signals. Trust them. Your body knows what it needs. Feel the weight of your head against the pillow. Let it be heavy. You don't need to hold it up anymore. Feel your shoulders and let them drop. Feel any tension in your jaw and let it soften. Your hands can uncurl. Your feet can relax. Every part of you that's been working, that's been holding, that's been striving, let it rest. Breathe with me. Slow, gentle breaths, in through your nose and out through your mouth. in and out. You don't need to control it too much. Just let each breath be a little slower than the last, a little deeper, a little more relaxed. And as you breathe, imagine yourself in one of the scenes we visited tonight. Maybe you're in that rock shelter with the fire crackling softly and the warmth of firs around you. Maybe you're in the pueblo with the stars visible through the window and the knowledge that your community surrounds you. Maybe you're in the igloo, sealed safe against the cold, the oil lamp burning its steady light. Wherever you imagine yourself, know that you're safe there, protected, held, part of a human tradition of rest that goes back to the very beginning, when our ancestors first closed their eyes and trusted the darkness enough to sleep. The stories are fading now. The images are becoming softer, less distinct, like they're being covered by a gentle fog. That's okay. That's right. You don't need to hold on to them. You don't need to remember everything. The stories did their work. They brought you here, to this edge between waking and sleeping, to this liminal space where consciousness begins to dissolve. You can let go now. Let go of the day behind you. Let go of tomorrow's concerns. Let go of trying to control or figure out or solve. Let go of everything except this present moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this gentle slide into sleep. You are safe. You are held. You can rest now.
The ancient peoples are sleeping now. The fire is low. The stars are shining. And you can sleep too. Let the darkness hold you. Let your breathing slow. There's nothing you need to do. Nothing you need to figure out. Just this gentle letting go, this soft surrender, this falling into sleep, into dreams, into rest. Sleep now, friend, sleep. The night will keep you safe, and morning will come in its own time. But for now, just sleep.